Alright, what's up everybody? We are on Season 2, Episode 9 of Vinland Saga, which is called Oath. Yeah, I actually wonder if... Well, who this is obviously referring to, as per usual. Like, did Thorfinn perhaps swear an oath to somebody, or maybe to himself, of like, I'll never do any fighting again, this or that? I mean, we keep, of course, seeing the dream that constantly recurs to him, which clearly has something to do with Thors and with, well, I don't know. I mean, with his past at least, right? It's like, okay, he had obviously let go of the certain lifestyle that he was living for so long, being driven by revenge and committing a bunch of heinous crimes and basically doing everything that Thors never wanted him to do. But simultaneously, I find myself for the very first time almost in like disagreement with the show, perhaps. I mean, that fully depends on if I am actually interpreting correctly what it tried to do at the end of last episode. Because of course we saw at the end of episode 8 that Thorfinn and Einar have started conflict with the retainers. Well, actually it's the reverse way around, which is that the retainers of course destroyed all their wheat and stuff, then started bullying them after they confronted them with it. Yeah, and they basically got what they asked for, right? And it's like, that's what I find the interesting part, is that on one hand, I mean, thinking about how Thorfinn used to be and that he was so driven by his revenge, as I said, right? And that he did a bunch of fucked up shit and violence was sort of part of his identity, right? In that way, Thors would have been entirely correct to be incredibly disappointed with the path that Thorfinn was headed on. I totally get that, right? But at the same time, I feel like, you know, what we saw at the end of this episode is like very symbolically. I didn't even get to touch on it last time, but Thorfinn, we saw him fall down the cliff again. We saw him fall into that gap that he had been dreaming about climbing back up from. You know, now that he punched one of the retainers and they started a fight with them. But I don't really think it's a comparable situation as of right now, you know? I mean, maybe it's just that Thorfinn is purely thinking of violence as in like, yeah, well, there is no gray area there. Violence is violence, right? And so me resorting back to it is a bad thing. I can kind of get that, but at the same time, it's not like I can really blame him in this kind of situation, you know? He was simultaneously protecting Einar as well, for example, from perhaps facing certain consequences for being the first one to attack the retainers, you know, in the first place. So, again, man, I don't really know how I'm currently feeling about it. I think that what they did here with the retainers was just rightfully putting them in their fucking place, you know? And don't get me wrong, I'm not an advocate for violence in any way, but I mean, you're not gonna let yourself basically be bullied here to eternity or something, right? At some point, you have to step up, and there is nothing. What I'm saying is that I feel like morally there is nothing wrong with what they did. But that's just my personal opinion, you know? Like, again, maybe people are gonna disagree with me on this. And maybe I'm not exactly interpreting correctly what the show is trying to bring across, but I do kind of feel like that. You know, I was watching back the episode real quick, and I was like, you know, especially focusing on that last part. And yeah, like I said, the comparison. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want Thorfinn to go back to his old ways whatsoever. I just feel like this is not an entryway into those old ways, if you'd ask me. But you know, we're gonna see about that, I guess. Yeah, so this episode is called Oath. I'm very much looking forward to it. And of course, guys, if you enjoy my reactions to Vinland Saga, then if you're watching these on YouTube, you can already watch the next 4 episodes straight away over my Patreon page, which is going to be linked on top of the description. Over there, I'll, you know, of course, be watching the episodes as they air. So by now, we should already be on episode 13 there as well. Go and catch up on all of that, along with, of course, full-length reactions if you want to see me react to the episodes in their entirety. And then, with that being said, let's dive into episode 9 of Vinland Saga. What? How'd he end up here? He collapsed? Oh, maybe it's a dream sequence again? Surely a different kind, if that's the case. Wow. Oh my god, this is a whole different kind of Thorfinn. So happy. I don't remember him like that since he was a kid in the first episodes. Jesus Christ. You really gonna give it another shot? Oh my god, you're gonna regret it. Oh, they're both completely done. I like how there's two in the background just laying there. Not worth it. That's what I'm worried about as well. How are the others going to react to hearing the story? I'm guessing the only just punishment is punishment, right? The just consequence. Yeah, we won. But again, that'll be the interesting part. It's like, okay, how is Kettle going to react, for example, right? He'll know that it's the right thing not to punish them for it. But he's probably gonna have to. He's still chilling here. Is it? Oh no, Thors. What conversation is he about to have with him? He's about to give him a reality check of what his world actually is looking like and that he needs to go a different direction. Who is he stabbing right now? Is it Einar? Kid Einar? What is that supposed to mean, though? He's not doing anything wrong to Einar, if you'd ask me.
Thorfinn. お前にはまだ伝えるべきことが教えなければいけないことがたくさんあったのに違うんだすまなかった俺のしたことなんだお前を一人残して父上待て待て
Man. He's stuck.
今ならお前にもわかるだろうお前に敵などいない
Shit, man, there come all the zombies again.
傷つけて良いものなどどこにもいない
Okay. Yeah, again, I genuinely don't know how I feel about that. I understand the message totally. But it's like, what else would you have done to those retainers, you know? Like, just let them have it? I'm starting to get that Aaron mindset, dude. Maybe that's what has corrupted me, I don't know. Damn, man. Oh my god. Wow, this whole sequence is so fucking well done. Are you gonna let the monsters consume you? Or are you gonna try and climb back? Oh my god. This episode is insane. Yeah, look at all these wilderlings, I don't know what to call them. Yeah. Maniacs. Is that Bjorn? Yeah. I was already kind of reminded of him seeing all of these. Oh my god, Askeladd. Are they actually here? Come join us. This is crazy, dude.
ここはバルハラなのか。バルハラだ。ここがあの世だってのか。冗談じゃねえぜ。あの世ってのはもっといいところだ。写しよそのものだろうが。ここはクソどもの吐きだめだ。戦士が最後に行き着くところ。
So what? Are you not getting out of this anymore though?
覚えてるか、ドルフィン。お前もかつてはこの世界の住人だった。戦士でいっぱいだったお前の中の器は一度空っぽになった。今は何が入ってる？
Well, it's not like it really got replaced with anything. It's just there's nothing anymore now.
戦士だ。
And he feels he's actually not changed. Just because of that punch.
人を殴った。だからまた戻ってきた。
Dude, this is all so symbolic with him still hanging on.
今だってもう手が限界なんだ。
Yeah, well, you're still hanging on though, so you're gonna climb back out.
情けない。
At least try.
俺はつくづく成長しない人間だ。俺はってか？やれやれ。内政も結構だが目は開けとけよ。
What the fuck? Are they trying to pull him in? Well, you can't exactly kick him back either. That would be violence. Yeah, exactly.
知ってる顔があんだろ。そいつらみんな
Yeah, I figured.
お前が殺した人間だぜ。
Dude, don't do that to him, man.
あなたがあなたたちがどこの誰なのかわからない。
He's gonna apologize.
いつどこであなたたちを
Yeah, he never even thought about them and now he's being confronted with it.
思い出せない。
God damn, dude. This episode is complete mental fucking torture. Oh, sure. You're gonna shoot arrows at him now. Wow. Wow, Askeladd is sort of stepping up for him. Dude, I love that. Still feels like some mild redemption, you know, for him.
戦いだ。行け。
Reminding him of his mission. Oh, really? What, he's gonna climb while they all hang on? Jesus Christ. This is fucking amazing. And then he wakes up. Oh, right, because he always woke up with his hands like that. But he remembers this time. Yeah, he wasn't thinking the same thing as you were, Thorfinn. He didn't get the memo. Man. Yeah. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Man, I hope for his sake that he's correct in that, but I mean, you also can't help but think about like an alcoholic saying he'll never drink beer again, or you know, like this show is gonna go on for a while still. Yeah, and hopefully it's gonna give Einar some of that, you know, teach him some of that mindset too. Oh shit! Kettle refused. Yeah, he heard the word from Peter. Yeah, I don't know if that's boding well for you though. Shit, man, this is surprisingly more hopeful than I figured it would be. Now the big question is, where do we go from here? What an episode, man. Holy shit. I'm kind of speechless. I feel like this is the kind of episode that you just want to let it speak for itself. And there's not really much that I can add to it that, you know, will do justice to how well this was. I mean, I can only imagine that, you know, people that read the manga, like, this is one of those sequences that for such a long time they must have been waiting for it to be adapted to anime, and then seeing it turn out like this, I can only imagine people are very happy with how they did it. The way that, I mean, again, it's like we even see characters now like Thors and like Askeladd really come back sort of in full glory for an episode, this was the perfect time to do it. And it's oh god, it's so great, man. Even that moment with Askeladd, who, I mean, his personality of course hasn't changed. It's so fantastic how he's actually, he's still in there with all the monsters, but then at the same time he's sitting on top of this pillar and he's just sort of overseeing it all and laughing at it in the exact same way that you figured he would. Yeah, meanwhile you've got somebody like Bjorn just going completely nuts in there and looking the same way as he did in that one episode where he went nuts. What was it, like episode 18 last season? I don't know. Yeah, like right before Canute started to sort of hold him with his hands, right? But man, oh God, what else can I even say about it? It's well, I guess, I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it, but like on one hand, I think it's beautiful, right? I truly do. I think it's fantastic, the message that it's bringing across and the realizations that it's making Thorfinn reach. But at the same time, I do have to be honest about it as well. I'm truly struggling. Like, inside of my mind, a couple minutes here before I started recording the review, of like, you know, do I fully agree with the message or something? I mean, look, I totally get that Thorfinn, of course, he wants to step away from violence entirely, and it's something that I do understand. You know, at first in the intro I brought up that, like, well, him punching those retainers who, you know, did bad shit to him, is that necessarily a bad thing, right? It's kind of a gray area still, I feel, because you're just, you know, it's retribution for something, you know, fucked up that happened to you simultaneously. That, well, I mean, I guess it's the same thing with Askeladd, right? Like, Askeladd deserved to suffer for killing Thors, but at the same time, should Thorfinn be the one to do it? You know, is that something that's necessary? I guess they are very similar situations when you think about it. And that's what I mean. Like, I go back and forth, right? I'm not saying that I necessarily feel convinced about one way or another. I think that ultimately what I try to realize is like, what I just realized as I tried to make my mind up about it is like, okay, I get that Thorfinn's ultimate realization and his ultimate goal is to resort from using any violence anymore. And that's beautiful. And if he does that, no matter what, he'll be sort of happy, I guess, right? Or he'll be, well, I don't know if he'll be happy as a consequence of that either, but it's like, he can live with himself. And that's the most important thing, I think, for him right now. So it doesn't matter if he continues to be a slave for the rest of his lifetime, as long as he doesn't have to resort to violence. That should probably make him feel like it's worth it or something. But I was mostly thinking about Einar and the fact that, like, look, by what these retainers did, Einar cares about his freedom, right? At this point, Einar doesn't have the same track record, let's say, as Thorfinn does. He doesn't have the same guilt. He doesn't have the same kinds of emotions when it comes to all of this. And we see it in the final sequence, right? Where he's telling Thorfinn, like, well, I guess I understand what you mean. So, you know, I'll go along with it, I guess, right? He's there for the ride, but it's like, okay, but he doesn't feel the same way, obviously. And that's totally understandable. To him, it's about his freedom. And, like, the retainers were definitely responsible for taking away that freedom. And they are going to be. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is it still not justified when you do know that you're also helping Einar in a very just cause? You know what I mean? Like that. These are questions that I do very much ask myself, and yeah, like the show really portrays it as a, well, it's very simple. No matter if it's one way or another, violence, resorting to that is always a bad thing. And I get that. And again, I'm not saying there's no beauty in that message. And it's kind of the message that we've been seeing all this time. Maybe it's, again, it might be a problematic thing that I've been watching Attack on Titan, where it's always like, look, you have all these sides and these ways of thinking, and guess what? They're all valid. And then this show is like, well, we're just going to treat it like this one way of thinking is always not valid. And, you know, this way is, no matter what, right? And it's like, it's fascinating. I mean, I have to be open-minded to both perspectives, I guess, right? So, yeah, that's it's quite a contrast. Let me just put it at that. And it's just sort of like I said, it's a complex situation that's been on my mind, and I'd definitely be curious to hear your input on all of that, and yeah, how you are feeling about this in the show right now. So let me know all of that, guys. And then for now, I hope you enjoyed my reaction and review to Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 9. Of course, if you're watching these on YouTube, then the next 4 episodes will already be available on my Patreon page, which is going to be linked on top of the description. Over there, we'll already be on Episode 13, and we are watching all the episodes as they air. So go and check it out. Your support is very much appreciated and allows me to make these videos in the first place. And then with that being said, I want to thank you all a lot for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.